if you're uh, if you're in the middle of a period of just intense, relentless anxiety,
Mm.
your immediate knee-jerk thought is probably some variation of, my brain is broken.
Right, yeah, like it's a fundamental glitch.
Exactly. We are so conditioned to treat severe mental anguish like a glitch in our operating system. It feels like this fundamental error that proves we are just failing at life.
Hmm.
But there's this highly viral piece of audio right now that is convincing millions of people that this relentless internal chaos isn't a malfunction at all.
No, it's not.
Right. It's actually, well, it's mathematical proof that you are about to win.
Yeah, and the audio we're analyzing today, it originates from a YouTube channel called Zotivation. And it's this incredibly passionate, intense monologue centered entirely around faith, perseverance, and spiritual warfare.
Yeah, it's very intense.
It really is. And our objective for this deep dive is to sort of strip down the mechanics of this text, to understand exactly how it constructs, a literal masterclass in cognitive reframing. We're looking at how the speaker takes these deeply paralyzing forces like past shame and future anxiety and actively recasts them as a tactical advantage.
And to be completely clear to you, the listener, right up front here,
Right.
whether you align with this specific religious framework or, consider yourself completely secular, the mechanics of what this text is doing are universally applicable.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, we all face internal battles where peace just feels impossible. So we're serving as impartial guides to this material today because the psychological architecture it uses to build resilience is just fascinating.
It really is.
So the deep dive begins with this really radical premise, which is that intense struggle is a primary indicator of your inherent value. The speaker states that the devil doesn't waste time on those who have already bowed. Instead, the enemy specifically targets those who carry God's light.
Right. And what's happening there is the text immediately intercepts the listener's default narrative of failure. Because when the human brain encounters severe psychological friction, the natural biological response is to internalize it as a loss.
But we made a mistake.
Exactly. We assume we took a wrong turn somewhere. But by claiming the attack is specifically aimed at those carrying light, well, the speaker fundamentally alters the meaning of the suffering. You are not being targeted because you're weak.
You're being targeted because you're a massive threat.
Yes, precisely.
It reminds me of the underlying logic in open-world video games.
Ah, how so?
Well, if you're wandering through this massive digital forest, right, and you haven't encountered a single enemy in, 20 minutes, you're probably walking in the wrong direction.
Right, heading out to the edge of the map where nothing matters.
Exactly. But the moment you suddenly turn a corner and face this huge wave of high-level enemies, the sheer volume of resistance is the game's way of confirming, hey, you found the objective. The struggle basically guarantees you are on the right path.
I love that analogy, and the psychology of it maps perfectly to the text. When a person believes their suffering is meaningless, they very quickly fall into what we call learned helplessness.
Oh, where you just give up.
Right. The brain literally shuts down its problem-solving centers. But when suffering is framed as resistance against something valuable like an objective in your game, the brain actually releases dopamine and adrenaline to push through the barrier. And the text lists very specific symptoms of this attack, too.
Yeah, it mentions a relentless battle, a mind under attack, and peace feeling like a distant memory.
Exactly.
But let me interrupt this train of thought for a second. Because if I'm listening to this while it's middle of a terrible, depressive episode, hearing someone say, oh, you're just being attacked because you carry God's light, that sounds incredibly dismissive.
I can see that, yeah.
Right. Like, I can easily see someone rejecting this out of hand. How does this text avoid falling into the trap of toxic positivity?
Well, toxic positivity demands that you ignore the negative reality. It insists that you, just smile or look on the bright side.
Which is the worst thing you can say to someone struggling.
It really is, because it completely invalidates the trauma the person